Let me tell you something that's been on my mind lately. Why do we suddenly care so much about growing things in pots? I mean, I've seen more people buying succulents than ever before, and now there's this whole wave of workshops in Colorado Springs that make me wonder if we're all just collectively rediscovering our inner botanist. Take this tropical terrarium workshop, for example. It's not just about making a little jungle in a jar, it's a symptom of something bigger. We live in a world where our connection to nature is getting more fragmented, and yet here we are, paying $40 to create a miniature ecosystem. What does that say about our relationship with the natural world? I think it's a mix of stress relief, nostalgia, and maybe even a subtle rebellion against the sterile environments we're stuck in. You know, I've been to these kinds of events before, and what always fascinates me is how they turn strangers into collaborators. You're not just buying a plant, you're joining a community that shares your weird obsession with soil and sunlight. And then there's the Rocky Mountain Flower Fest. I mean, $30 for a music festival full of flowers? That's not just a party, it's a cultural statement. When you walk into a place where the air smells like lavender and the music is probably acoustic, you're not just there for the flowers. You're there for the experience of being surrounded by beauty that's both temporary and alive. But here's the thing, these festivals are also economic powerhouses. They're not just about the joy of picking a bouquet, they're about local businesses thriving in a way that feels sustainable. I've seen this trend in other cities too, where flower markets become hubs for creativity and small-scale entrepreneurship. It's like the economy of the future is being built one petal at a time. Now, let's talk about the sunflower days. I've always found it fascinating how specific these events are. Why sunflowers? Why not daisies or tulips? Maybe it's the symbolism. Sunflowers follow the sun, which feels like a metaphor for our own pursuit of light in a dark world. But there's also the practicality. Sunflowers are easy to grow, they're photogenic, and they make great centerpieces. Yet, the $10 admission fee for a day of picking them makes me wonder, are we paying for the flowers or for the experience of being in a field of gold? I think it's both. There's something magical about holding a sunflower in your hands, especially when you've picked it yourself. It's a tangible connection to the earth that's hard to replicate in a digital age. And then there's the orchid sundaes. Orchids are the ultimate luxury plant, right? They're exotic, they're expensive, and they require a level of care that most people aren't prepared for. But here's the twist, these workshops are turning people into orchid connoisseurs. I think this is part of a larger trend where people are embracing challenges they once thought were beyond their reach. It's like the modern version of the hobby concept, something that's both aspirational and achievable with a little guidance. The fact that they're charging $25 for a repotting class tells me that people are willing to invest in their green thumbs. Why? Maybe because we're all looking for hobbies that feel meaningful, that give us a sense of accomplishment in a world that often feels chaotic. But let's not forget the deeper implications. These events aren't just about plants, they're about community, identity, and even mental health. Studies show that being around plants can reduce stress, improve focus, and even boost creativity. So when someone spends $120 on a bonsai class, they're not just buying a tree, they're investing in their well-being. And that's something I find really interesting. It's like we're using gardening as a form of self-care, a way to slow down and reconnect with the rhythms of nature. I mean, I've seen people who've never touched a shovel before come out of these workshops with a newfound appreciation for the soil under their nails. That's not just a hobby, it's a transformation. So, what does all this say about us? Are we just a bunch of urbanites trying to bring a piece of the countryside into our lives? Or is there something more profound at play? I think it's a mix of everything. We're trying to find balance in a fast-paced world, and these events offer a way to pause, to create, and to connect, with plants, with each other, and with ourselves. And honestly, I think that's why they're here to stay. Whether it's a macrame plant hanger or a dahlia picking day, these events are more than just activities, they're movements. Movements toward mindfulness, toward sustainability, and toward a life that's a little greener, both literally and figuratively. So the next time you see a sign for a flower festival or a terrarium workshop, don't just pass it by. Think about what it represents. Because in a world that's constantly moving forward, maybe we all need a little reminder to grow, to bloom, and to find beauty in the little things.